Hello Community Day School students, teachers, and fans. My name is Huby Hirschfield, and I'm your host for the 8th grade morning show this week. This week marks around one more month of school, which is super exciting. Stay tuned for fun stuff that we're going to be talking about, like Hello News, weather, Parsha, and Tefillah learning. Let's get started. Welcome back to the This Week in History segment. Here we have Razel, who's going to be telling us about a couple of things that happened this week in history.
Thanks, Huby. There are so many things to talk about, but I'll start off with Monday, May 18th.
What happened on Monday, May 18th?
I'm so glad you asked. Not only was Massachusetts the first state to legalize same-sex marriage in 2004, but the first televised baseball game was broadcast on NBC in 1939, which resulted in a score of 2-1. Princeton defeated Columbia.
That sounds cool. Isn't it fun to see how our habits of watching sports have lasted throughout the decades?
Yep, but that's not all. On May 20th, 1609, Shakespeare's sonnets were first published by Thomas Thorpe, possibly legally.
Interesting. I would think we would have figured out if he had done it illegally or not by now, but maybe not.
Me too, but here we are. Also on May 20th, 1927, Charles Lindbergh took flight from New York to make the first nonstop flight across the Atlantic Ocean. He landed on May 21st.
That is fascinating. And I see, Razel, that you included something that we learned in social studies from Mrs. Holmes' class. Wow. We will see you next week. Bye. So, Eli, how was your Shavuot?
Well, Huby, it was lots of fun. I ate lots of cheesecake and ice cream. Thanks for asking. How was yours?
Mine was also great. I had the usual dairy foods, and I read a bunch of books to pass the time. What's on the schedule for this week?
Well, here it is. I hope you enjoyed your 4-day weekend, everybody, because next week we're back to our regularly scheduled program for the rest of the year.
What?
That's right. Just learning, testing, and failing forever.
What about summer break?
Huh?
You know, school ends for summer vacation on June 24th, right?
Fine. Learning, testing, failing until June 24th.
What about Memorial Day?
I'm sorry, what?
You know, Memorial Day on May 31st, in 2 weeks, we have a long weekend.
Alright, fine. School until Memorial Day in 2 weeks, and then more school until summer vacation in about a month. Is that better?
Thanks, Eli. Everybody have a good week and stay tuned for next week. Hey, Ari?
Yeah, Huby?
Do you know who everyone listens to but no one believes?
You?
Good guess. But it's actually the Weatherman.
Very funny, Huby, but I think my answer is better. Anyways, let's get back on topic. This week's weather is pretty good, and it will be in the high 60s. You should expect mostly cloudy weather with on and off rain and sunshine. The warmest day this week will be on Tuesday with a high of 71, which I am really looking forward to.
Same here. I just really wish we could keep the weather at that warm temperature.
Me too. But either way, everyone should spend some time outside next week since it's going to be pretty warm. Also, I don't want to say anything for sure because it's bound to change, but right now the weather next week, it's looking like it's going to be staying in the 70s.
That's great to hear, but I'm not going to get my hopes up just yet because this is Rochester. I'll wait to see what you have to say next week.
You should always listen to what I have to say. I am the best at this job after all.
Whatever you say, Ari. Anyways, thank you for sharing with us, and make sure you guys come back for next week's weather update.
Another week, another batch of news. Let's see what this week of news has in store.
I'm really interested to see what's going on.
Alright, great. This week I'm celebrating another tragedy, as a shooting took place in a birthday party in Colorado. The shooter's reason for the attack is unknown at the moment. U.S. President Joe Biden called the incident a national embarrassment, and called for new legislation in Congress regarding gun laws. In Israel, specifically Gaza, Hamas fired multiple missiles into Jerusalem in an airstrike as a response to the violence that occurred against Palestinians in Jerusalem during the Muslim holiday of Ramadan. Thankfully, Israel was able to stop the rockets fired into Jerusalem with their anti-missile Iron Dome. Israel stated that they have fired their own airstrike into Gaza in response to Hamas's attack. That's all the news for this week.
Hopefully we have some good news next week. And a little update from last week's news. The Pfizer vaccine has finally been approved for kids ages 12 to 15, and they have started trials for kids under the age of 12 to get vaccinated. Bye.
What's your favorite prayer, Huby?
Adon Olam, I guess.
Good, because that is the topic of this segment. Adon Olam, a prayer we all love and goes by many tunes. Its authorship and origin are uncertain. However, it is sometimes attributed to Solomon ibn Gabriel, who lived from 1021 to 1058. He is known for his Hebrew poetry, although there is no solid evidence for this. As the name suggests, the prayer talks about Adon, which means master, and Olam, which is debated whether it's eternal or world. So the name can either translate to eternal master or master of the universe.
That was really interesting. Thank you, Sammy. Stay tuned next week.
Okay, so Hubi, this week's parsha is a very strange parsha. Can you guess what it's called?
Can you give me like a really small hint?
Ugh, fine, but it ruins all the fun. Anyways, back to this. So this week's parsha means elevate. Is that a good enough clue?
Is it Naso?
Wait, what? How did you get that?
I told you I have a really good brain and it's big.
Okay, back on the parsha. So it starts off by this man, and he is accusing his wife of being unfaithful to him with another man. But he is not sure if she is with another man. He has no proof.
Poor wife.
Wait, it gets worse. So anyways, you know how nowadays we have hidden cameras and private detectives and all those kind of things? So they did not have any of that way back then. So it's harder for him to get proof. Back then, the man had a special way of finding out their wife if they were unfaithful to them. But sadly, we don't practice that method now.
Wow, that's so cool. What is it?
I know, but it gets better. So, the man brings his wife to the priest where they are going to make an offering. So, the priest takes a bowl of water and adds some ashes from the tabernacle, the Mishkan, to the water. The priest takes off the woman's head covering and messes up her hair.
Is the priest going to pour the water with the ashes on her hair?
No. If you just wait and listen, you'll find out. Before sending the water with ashes to God, the priest says words of oath. The priest sends the bowl of water and ashes to God and then pours the water and ashes in her mouth.
Wait, what just happened? Did you just say she drinks it? That is so disgusting.
I know, when I was reading about the parsha, I had the same reaction. I kind of feel bad for her.
Yeah, wow. What an intense parsha we had this week.
I know, thank you Huvi for listening.
Oh, no problem. Stay tuned next week. Wow, that was highly informative, and I learned a thing or two. I hope everyone enjoyed listening and tune in the same time, same place next week.